Okay, I think this is a good place to start.
Good morning, Tobias.
Why, it's April, my friend from Stark. Have you come to visit us again?
So it appears. I didn't exactly come here by choice this time, though.
Oh? How so, if I may ask?
In a weird and twisted way, it's nothing out of what's become the substitute for ordinary in my life. One second I was in my room in Newport. The next, I was in a dark alley in Marcuria.
You must have opened a shift while you were sleeping. Good. This means you are learning to harness your magic.
Yeah, I guess, except I don't think I'll be able to get back home again. And this time, my mentor, Cortez, has no idea that I'm here.
I wish you could just go sleep again.
But I'm sure you will find a way to channel and control your power soon. In the meantime, is there anything I can do to help?
Yeah.
I need help getting back home.
Unfortunately, I'm in no better state today to help you shift than I was the day before yesterday. You are the one with the talent, and so you must learn to use that talent.
I need to locate the disc that unlocks the Guardian's tower.
The disc that is the key? Yes, it is needed. It might even restore balance, provided the new Guardian accompanies it to the tower, of course. But you wish to find the disc yourself?
I have to. Cliché or not, it's our only hope.
You do this often then? You know, save worlds?
It's an expression. Heroism in my world is more of a cliché than anything else.
I do not understand, but then I am merely a servant of the balance, while you are more. But yes, the disc. As I told you once before, when the Earth was divided, and the realm of the Guardian created, a disc was forged in the Well of Making. The disc was to serve two purposes, as a key to the Tower of Balance should it become necessary to enter it in the Guardian's absence, and as a replacement for the disc that is already in the tower should it be broken. The tower is now abandoned and locked, and the old disc shattered. I do think the time is right for the second disc to be brought forward and used.
Oh, yeah.
I need to find the entrance to the Guardian's realm.
There is one. You are right in that, but where, I would not venture to guess. In the past, when the time came for the Guardian to step down and another to take his or her place, the Guardian opened a gateway wherever it was needed. A Guardian, still in full control of the balance, can invite anyone in, and let anyone out. But with the Guardian gone, the only way in would be the point where the divide was first created, where the tower was built.
Well, okay then.
Isn't that location written down somewhere?
Google Maps.
Remember that this was done on the old Earth before the divide. After the divide, after the creation of Stark and Arcadia, places were shifted about. This entrance may not even be on the ground anymore.
What do you mean?
It could be up there, in the sky, or far below us, through the crust of the earth into the molten depths below. I cannot say, and I do not know anyone who could.
Where is the disc now?
At first, more than 12,000 years ago, it was kept in the open, at the Sentinel Enclave outside Marcuria. However, when thieves attempted to make away with the disc, it was taken away.
Why?
Because someone tried to take
So
it.
that the 4 parts of the disc could be divided amongst 4 of the magical people of Arcadia. People who would have nothing to gain from the balance being compromised.
What people were the disc divided amongst?
This I cannot tell you. I am not sure anyone remembers now. But it would be in the scriptures, I am certain.
What scriptures?
The scriptures of the balance. There are 13 of them. 13 is a strong number, rich in tradition, and Did you know the Ireed High Council consists of 13 ministers? No, of course you don't. 13 was also the number of the fathers who begat the Sentinel, and who built the Tower of Balance.
13 is the magic number.
Where can I find the scriptures of the balance?
Pay a visit to the Sentinel Enclave, located outside the city to the east.
Alright.
The great library of the Enclave contains every book ever written by an Arcadian minstrel, and most others as well. Speak with Minstrom Yerin, the keeper of books. Tell him I sent you.
Isn't there any way to locate the entrance to the Guardian's realm?
Perhaps with careful investigation of the old texts, histories of Arcadia, of the Divide, the scriptures. I do not know, April, but it cannot hurt to look.
That looks like fun.
Again, you will find these texts at the Sentinel Enclave. Speak with Minstrom Yerin.
We're gonna get a lot to read, guys.
I need to locate the 2 dragons that reside in Arcadia.
The Drykin?
What's the difference?
Dragons is a word from your world. The kin are not what they have become in your legends and fairy tales.
But they're real, aren't they?
For Rizzle.
Oh, as real as you and me, April. And old. They have been here since before our time. As you probably remember, the kin were instrumental in the Divide, saving mankind from a terrible end. But I know so little. Only what I can remember from my studies when I was a minstrel at the Enclave.
How can I get more information on the Drykin?
Again,
Books,
yeah.
daughter, books. The wisdom of the ages. There is one tome you should study, called The Secrets of the Drykin, by Minstrom Elniak. It is old but informative, and it captures the imagination.
Where can I find this
What
book?
do you think?
Again, you will find these texts at the Sentinel Enclave. Speak with Minstrom Yerin.
Thank you, Tobias.
Good to know I could help you, April.
Okay, guess where we're going? Going to do. Gonna read. When I asked Obnoxus about the Drykin, he didn't really know much about them except for a story he'd heard about a god who fell from the stars into the ocean a long time ago. Whatever this so-called god may be, it's a fair chance it's got something to do with these dragon-kin creatures. It might be a good idea to run this by somebody who knows a bit more about myths and legends of the sea. Monday. I have no concept of what the Arcadian or Mercurian calendar is like, but at home it will be July 31st. Come to think of it, what year is it here? Anyway, that's not really the reason I'm writing an entry in my diary. Tobias told me about a library where I may be able to find some answers. The library is at the Sentinel Enclave just outside of town, and I'm supposed to speak to a menstrum named Yerin. He's the keeper of books or something like that, which probably translates into equivalent of a librarian.
Hello.
What's that little thing behind me?
Do you know anything about a god that fell from the sky into the sea?
Of course. You find fallen gods most everywhere these days. They're an air and a hand.
Really?
No, of course not. There are no fallen gods in the sea. It wouldn't make much sense, would it? If the sea was full of gods just lying about the seabed.
So you've never heard of such a thing happening?
Now you got it.
Bye.
Okay, well, that was helpful.
Hello again, old man.
It be you.
I'd love to hear some more maritime.
Sure, sweetie, I be.
Have you heard a story about a god who fell from the sky into the sea?
Aye, that I be having. Although that be a story of man-eating mermen who ravaged the sea of songs, swallowing sailors whole and spitting their bones out to dry. Are you sure you be up for hearing such a cool tale?
I've heard worse.
Ye be a tough little lady, be you not? All right. Well, like I be telling yous, the sea of song surrounding the island kingdom of Gien be a treacherous sea where countless vessels have disappeared without a trace. Now, this be near 30 long winters ago, mind, during me second term as captain of the trader Lucky Lady. We've been crossing the Sea of Songs for 2 seasons, and we'd yet to be seeing any sign of the dreaded bloodthirsty mermen who lurk in the waters off the Guyenne coast. That night we be laying still with our sails down, awaiting the wind to pick up and carry us north to Mercuria, when we be hearing a frightful scream a-coming from the port side of the Lady Luck. I be the first to rush over on account of me having me arm down the apple barrel. We just been to Arras to pick up 100 barrels of sweet Guyenne apples. And as luck would have it, I be there just in time to witness Sally Barney's horrible fate.
Luck would have it.
He be in the water, screaming and waving his arms, and the water around him be red as a midwife's arms after a grueling
Oh my
birth.
God.
I get the picture. Go on.
Then I be seeing, I glimpse a large, shiny, sleek body be pulling Sally down and swallow him whole. It be the merman come to claim the body of the sailor who dare cross their sea.
Are you sure it wasn't a shark?
What?
Big fish with sharp teeth and dead black eyes and a large triangular fin on top?
Ye mean a black-eyed snapjaw? I guess it could have been, but it be no snapjaw. It be the dreaded merman of the Sea of Songs.
Where does the sea god fit into all of this?
I be coming to that. You see, the bloodthirsty mermen be not only happy with cannibalizing sailors, but they be sacrificing their own to their dark old sea god.
Actually, unless the mermen are human, they wouldn't really be cannibals if they ate humans.
Blood sacrifices to their dreaded god who lives on the bottom of the sea. Aye, that be the truth of the mermen, fierce and bloodthirsty cannibals of the Sea of Songs.
Fantastic.
Thanks. Good story.
Aye.
Oh God.
I'm all...
Aye.
See you later.
If I...
Well, we got something to read anyway. What is it with old sailors and long, pointless stories? I did manage to get some useful information out of the old man, however. He claims that the god who fell into the sea, the one that Naxus told me about, is worshipped by bloodthirsty cannibal mermen who lived in the Sea of Songs around the island of Gien. I think that's how it's spelled. The fact that they're not necessarily cannibals just because they eat humans didn't really deter him from finishing his story. I'm having my doubts about how bloodthirsty these creatures really are as well. Seems like the monsters he described in his story could be some kind of shark instead of a merman. Whatever the truth is, if anybody knows about this god who fell from the stars, it would be the merman.
Hello.
We're back again.
Did you ever hear of the merman of the Sea of Songs?
You mean the bloodthirsty cannibal merman of the Sea of Songs?
That's it.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Are you sure you've never heard of the merman of the Sea of Songs?
Be quiet. Shh. Not so loud.
What's up with the shushing?
Legend says that if you speak openly of the bloodthirsty cannibal merman of the Sea of Songs, they will hunt you down until they've caught you and devoured you.
And you believe this legend?
No, I'm just trying to scare you off.
He's not very
Bye.
helpful.
Hi there, Mr. Westhouse. I'm back.
My
Space.
word. What on earth possessed you to return to this god-forsaken place?
He doesn't.
You were lucky to escape the first time. But now you're really
He
pushing it.
doesn't much like this place.
It's not that bad a place, or else you wouldn't stay here. Besides, this time I didn't exactly come here by choice.
I stay here because I'm a true masochist, Miss Ryan. And who forced you to come? Was it Cortez?
He doesn't even know I'm here, unfortunately. No, I think I had some kind of accident with my so-called powers. I shifted in my underwear.
No, huh? Isn't that the way it is, though? We always cross the rift at the most inopportune times. Care for a drink? Oh, no, that's right. You, don't.
Would you mind helping me with a few questions?
I've nothing better to do, so shoot.
Do you know anything about dragons?
I try to stay out of the affairs of the kin these days. What precisely do you wish to know about the damn beasts?
There are 2 dragons in Arcadia, and I'm trying to locate them.
Yeah, I've heard that tale myself, but no, I don't know anything about it. You'd be better off speaking with the Sentinel Minstrom. After all, religion is their specialty, not mine.
Nah, mine.
Did you ever hear a story about a god who fell from the sky?
Stories aren't my thing, April. You should visit a library. I'm sure you'll find some stories in the books. I know the Sentinel have a library somewhere near the city. I've also heard rumor of a people with wings who do nothing but observe and record history through stories. But I don't know if that's all it is. A rumor. Still, if you're looking for stories, it may be wise to check it out and see if you can find them.
All right.
I'm looking for a disc that will open up the Guardian's realm.
That's religion, Miss Ryan. And the only things I worship are whiskey, a good cigar, and a nice long... Anyway, don't ask me about all that balance mumbo-jumbo.
Would you be able to tell me where I could look for the entrance to the Guardian's realm?
In Tobias's pants, if he had his wish, I'm sure. No, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about the Guardians, balance, or Sentinel, or gardening. Now, if you're interested in bullfighting, I could talk all night.
No.
Bullfighting's a horrible act of cruelty to animals, and not much of a sport at all.
That's right.
I'll just forget you said that, Miss Ryan. If there's one thing I miss about Stark, it's bullfighting.
You'll be
Well-
happy to hear, then, that they abolished bullfighting hundreds of years ago.
Damn.
I can't think of any more questions.
Then let's talk about other things, shall we?
Bye.
Thanks,
Anytime, April. Come back if you're homesick and you feel like talking to a fellow alien.
Let's read some, why don't we? Brian Westhouse just told me something I should remember. He said that he's heard stories about a winged people who observes and record history. If they've got records going back thousands of years, maybe they know something about the whereabouts of the disc, the jewels, or even the entrance to the Guardian's realm. It's definitely worth checking out.
It's a stone dragon gazing down into the center of the dome like it's guarding the entrance. It's a magnificent piece of work.
Let's go read some books.
It's a circular hollow about 20 centimeters across and about 5 centimeters deep. The dragon's mouth is pointing straight down at the middle of the floor.
Cool.
It's one of the Sentinel Minstrom.
Oh, goodness me, I didn't hear you come in. By the way, you haven't seen Volume 6 of the Complete Annotated History of the Northlands, have you?
No.
I could have sworn it was here yesterday.
Sorry, no.
I try to tell them to write down what they borrow on the list, but they never listen. Only last week I spent 3 hours searching the entire enclave for the second scripture of the ballads, the scripture of song, before I realized that Vestrum Tobias was studying it back in the city. Now, such incidents could be avoided if only, and this applies to you too, young lady, people would sign out the books they borrow when they borrow them and sign them back in when they're done. Such a simple procedure. It shouldn't take more than a few seconds to jot down your name and the name of the book you borrow. It makes my job so much easier. Now, which book did you want me to find for you?
I guess magic doesn't help with everything.
Are you Minstrom Yaren?
Yes, of course. What a silly question.
How would I know? I don't know you.
I am Minstrom Yaren, keeper of the great library of Marcuria. In fact, this is the greatest library of all the Northlands.
Oh.
Perhaps of the entire world. Although they say the Dark People have a library as big, if not bigger, than this one. But of course, we're not allowed anywhere near there. Have you been there?
I don't think...
What a silly question. Of course you haven't. You're not of the Dark People, are you? You don't look like any Dark People I've ever seen, so I can't see how you could possibly... Now, where did Volume 6 disappear to?
Oh, it's a librarian, all right.
Tobias said I should talk with you.
Tobias? Vestrum Tobias? I haven't seen him for... Well, he was in last week, but before that it must have been days at least. How is he? Still eating enough for 2 mules? I must tell you of this funny story I heard the other day, of how Vestrum Tobias eats enough for a table full of minstrum. Or was it one Elguan? Although the Elguan don't, as a rule, eat very much at all. Did you know that the Elguan can smell water more than half a day's journey away?
Okay.
Amazing, amazing creatures, perfectly suited for life in the desert. The balance provides, that's for certain. The balance provides.
Amen.
Vestrum Tobias recommended that I look at some books.
Books is what we do best here at the Enclave, that is for certain. Which book would you like to see?
Oh, well...
I'm looking for some information, but I'm not sure which book to ask for.
No matter. I know a great deal about most of the books in here. What topic intrigues you?
I need to find out which 4 magical people of Arcadia were given a piece of the stone disc that serves as the key to the Guardian's realm.
The stone disc of the balance, yes? Yes. There could possibly be something on that in... let me check. Just one moment.
Thank you. Chapter 16 of the 8th scripture. Oh my god, this is gonna be so long. I don't know if I'm actually gonna do this. I don't know. The scripture of the breaking. Regarding the disc of the balance and the events that came about when the disc was broken, the scriptures tell us that the disc was kept at the enclave for many thousands of years, safely guarded from any threats by the respect held by every man and woman for the authority of the fathers. But with descent came disobedience, and disobedience brought immortality, and immortality begat thefts. Tyrant soldiers, aided by sentinel traders, attempted to make away with the disc, but were swatted by the wight of the kin herself, intervening, although forbidden to do so on the behalf of the fathers. The disc was brought safely back to the enclave, but the threats would linger in the minds of the Minstrom and the Vestrum. So it became that the disc was melted in the forge of the dragon's mouth, shaped into elements of 4 magical people and given to these respective people for safekeeping until such a time when it was decreed that the disc should once more be whole. 1 stone of the gentle souls that sing in the dark and shape the earth between their toes. 1 stone to the watchers of the woods, to ones who are outside. 1 stone to the 2 that make one of air and of sea, and 1 stone to the keeper of the dark flame, the eternally dark, the marineers. Mariners? The marinade for the orange. When the time comes for the disc to be whole again, 1 person will make a journey to the 4 who hold the pieces, and the pieces will be given willingly because there will be no doubt to the righteousness of this person.
I've heard rumors about mermen who live beneath the Sea of Songs, and I'd like to find out more about them.
Mermen in the Sea of Songs. Let me see what I can find, yes?
Mairum, also mermen, merpeople, Marians, a magical people who reside in the depths of the great ocean and other seas. Little contact has been made with the Marium, who are believed to have been quite numerous in the past, but are now dwindling in numbers. Confirmed locations of Marium cities is between the Bristan Atoll and Gien, centering on the Sea of Songs. Legend of mermen, merpeople, Marians, are rampant amongst sailors. These stories portray the Marium in a grotesque and violent light, betraying the truth of a largely peaceful people. Okay, double row, why not? Double row. Although not much is known about the Marium, the religion apparently centers around the belief of a benevolent god who lives in the immense depths of the great ocean, and who brought the Marium to Earth from a place distant and wonderful.
Are there any books about flying people who observe and tell stories?
Winged storytellers, let me see what I can find. Hold on.
Alatien, a crafty winged people who have recently dwindled in numbers and whose ability to fly long distances have been steadily diminishing over the past few centuries. The Alatien are known for their ability to remember and tell stories from before the dawn of mankind and up to modern events. The largest known tribe of Alatien, with whom traders have occasionally contacted, resides on the otherwise uninhabited island of Alais in the Bristan Atoll.
The island of Alais, near the Bristan Atoll. Maybe I should try to go there.
Maybe we should read what you just wrote. I went to the library, yes, me, imagine that, to look for some information about those flying creatures that Brian told me about. And with Mr. Murian's help, I found just what I was looking for. They're actually called Alatien, and there's a tribe of them living on an island south of here, Alais. Which is such good news considering how much I love water, and that was my sarcastic voice, by the way. Now, who do I know with a ship?
It's a pool of seawater. You'd think that it'd be a bad idea to have a pool inside a library on account of the moisture, but I guess magic makes everything possible. It's stuck. The water's pretty cold.
Hello?
Hello. Do you know the island of Alais?
The vacation paradise of the ancient Del Mare? Certainly.
How do I get there?
It's near the Bristan Atoll, but boats rarely travel directly to Bristan from Marcuria. You'd have to travel via Guyenne.
Can you give me a lift to Guyenne on your ship?
There are 3 problems with that scenario. Number 1, there's no wind, so we can't set sail south. Number 2, I lost my navigator a few weeks past, and I have yet to find his replacement. And number 3, you're a woman. We don't let women on board the White Dragon.
Isn't that a bit sexist?
Sexy is just what I worry about. What with a boat full of men being out at sea for months at a time?
Not sexy, sexist.
I'm a sailor, girl. What do you expect? Good bedside manners?
I'd really appreciate it if I could hitch a ride with you to Guyenne.
Ain't gonna happen. Sorry.
Okay,
Bye.
then.